Today, Precarious plays
Torment, Tides of Numenera.
Go down, scroll all the way down. Maybe that'll give us... Nope.
A good mystery.
Great. A hidden stat. I'll look it up later. I hate hidden stats in most games.
I think that this game, if it at least lets me get to the end, with any combination of whatever insanity I do, if I can get through it,
Yeah.
I think it still counts as good, no matter if there are hidden stats or not.
Well, the thing is, the main reason why I don't like hidden stats, it's not in theory, it's in execution. Too often, hidden stats, by their very nature, they're obscured to the player, so you can't validate them at all on your end, right? So, do you know Telltale games, how sometimes you'll do something and the game will very ominously say, like, so-and-so will remember that in the upper left-hand corner?
Yeah.
Oftentimes that's sleight of hand. It's not actually recording anything that they intend to use. It might not even actually be recording anything at all. It just wants you to feel like you've made an important decision. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So, take our blue tide, for example. Maybe at some point in the game, someone will say something and be like, yeah, this was unlocked by blue tide. And it turns out that 90% of characters start the game with a blue tide value that's high enough to interact with that particular piece of text, and the only way you can do that is if you're like super mean to a bunch of people and it lowers your blue tide. And I just don't like not being able to see some stats laid out, because you know what, to put it in an easier to understand context, whenever a first-person shooter developer, right, has like a little scope or something that says it moderately increases the speed of target acquisition, something, right? Something really vague.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty often, the bonus that it's giving you is so negligible that it's really not worth considering. Like, I don't like that kind of stuff, because it lets designers, if you have access to at least some numbers, it usually tends to make the designers behave and design in a more honest way.
Okay.
You want to talk to the genocide? I noticed you hovering over the genocide.
I was just thinking of another way to say, a curious object. Ooh, it has options. The machine towers above you like a dagger driven into the ground by a giant. It seems much older than the surrounding buildings. Your hands itch to touch the array of dark panels scattered around the machine, as though they have touched them before. I
am glad I did that Google.
Anamnesis?
Yeah, to pick up anamnesis. Because I know that, I don't know if we've talked about it, this is a spiritual successor to Planescape Torment, and that game, pretty famously, it is an RPG where you pick a character class at the start of the game, but the story winds up being most meaningful to your character if they are a wizard, if they are a spellcaster. And I was like, if it's made with the same mentality, I should do a Google and see what people have to say. Like, if they did something similar here, and this is what people recommended, making sure to have this skill, because it unlocks some pretty good information about yourself.
You close your eyes to better concentrate, sinking into the currents of a memory that does not belong to you, or at least not to the body you are in, and you hear the thunderous heartbeat of the operational generator calling you from across centuries. You open cold, focused eyes, ignoring the screams, the drifting tangles of black smoke, Your attention is solely focused on the health of the machine's heartbeat. You reach into the hissing guts of the generator, adjusting and tuning, hoping. The heartbeat fades into the past. Your body's hand, rests on the rusty surface of the long-dead generator. Ooh, we're gonna touch that. Okay, examine the device. Your hands slip over the cobbled-together components and greasy cables, the buttons worn by frequent use. It is a strange accomplishment, this machine. Clumsy but deft. Amateurish but masterful. Oh, okay. Only a brilliant mind could have melded so many disparate parts into a functional device. Unfamiliar memories whisper to you. This device was used, though you don't know how, to generate a field that unmoored everything within it from time itself. Hey, I found a clock part! Your fingers scrape a rough patch. Lifting them, you see a cercinate symbol etched into the side like a maker's mark. Alright, let's leave the generator alone, I guess. Now I know what it is, and that somebody touched it. Let's meet this friendly soul. Who are you? See, I'm upgrading from what's this by many, many words.
This burly, armor-clad figure stands almost motionless as you approach. He regards you silently through his singular eye. The studs on his arms and the blades on his shoulders are stained and pitted with age. When he speaks, his voice is muffled and artificial, a hollow grumble that emanates from the entirety of the helmet. Would you like to switch me?
I am the genocide. If you ask, I must answer.
That's my answer.
Pass on, then, and exchange no words.
His surface thoughts are like a crystal pool, alternately transparent or else perfectly reflecting his words. His mind reveals nothing hidden except for a low-level hatred of everything around him. This latter is more a feeling you get than an actual thought that you hear.
Do we poke the genocide? Yeah.
Hold on, go back up and I'm gonna analyze what he said again.
Oh, all the way up.
Yeah. I am the genocide. If you ask, I must answer. Pass on then, and exchange no words. I don't know if I want to disrespect the person named the genocide.
Okay. I will come back to this because we are still in town.
Yeah, but this is the game.
Okay, as long as we're okay. See, sometimes the things that I find lovely and fluffy and wonderful and I want to touch all of them, like, oh, look at this detail in this house and that shingle's loose. Everything that I want to mess with is usually like something that some designer put in because they wanted to make it lovely and not actually core to the experience. I love the shadows that fly over very much. Alright, we're back to the front. So we've got a bunch of cultists in the middle.
Got cultists on the left, cultists on the right.
Oh! Did you see how close?
I saw.
Who are you? Crier. Oh, they might have news.
Star falls into the reef. Hundreds witness the spectacle.
Man, I was not subtle. They're gonna snap at me. I'm giving it a wider berth. Okay, let's go up the stairs. Yeah?
Stairs? Who still uses stairs?
Me, apparently.
Do you want to inspect the clock? Can we inspect the clock?
Ooh, we can. Oh man, if I fix this clock on accident, I'm gonna be so mad. I just want to look at the ghost clock a little bit.
This complex machine towers over you. Its purpose is unclear, but the three circular faces set into the ground remind you of clocks. Something is wrong with the machine, however. It's partially transparent, shimmering in the air when you look directly at it. The clock face seems to show several different times at once. Humanoid silhouettes ripple beneath the central clock face. One places his hand against the face as though it were a glass wall. They seem to be watching you.
Examine the machine.
The towering mechanism wavers in the air. Similar to Calestige, it appears to be in several states at once, though all of the machine's states are in the exact same location. You can't touch it either. Your hand passes right through the structure.
Okay.
So, Calestige is really in parallel. The Calestigii
I think she's already a plural.
Yeah, are in parallel worlds. This clock is just in different times in the same location.
Mm-hmm.
Although, how does that? Because I mean, the planet is still moving. Okay, whatever. As you pull your hand away, a memory strikes you as powerfully as if someone took a club to your chest. You are working at the clock. It is no longer transparent, but perfectly solid. There is a noise behind you, so they've come, the 3 traitors. They think to surprise you, but through the power of the clock, you have foreseen this moment. There is the faintest sound of metal sliding against leather. You slap a hand in the central clock face, activating the clock's arcane powers. You're not sure what it will do to them, but it's better than what they'll do to you. There is a flash. Arcs of energy stretch out from the clock over your shoulders to your would-be attackers. You don't see what happens to them, but they quickly disappear along with their screams.
Aye.
Turn them back into single-cell organisms, did you? As the last shreds of the memory fade, a swirl of energy passes through your body. Cold barbs prick every muscle. Suddenly, tidal forces arc from the clock to 3 ancient devices in the cultist encampment. The clock reorganized something inside you, or maybe vice versa. Either way, you have inadvertently activated the nearby devices.
Man! Curiosity fixes the clock.
Famous phrase.
Okay.
Oh, but not the one that we interacted with most recently.
Right.
Curious.
These 3 things. The spiky things. Okay, well, let's just walk away from the machinery we turned on. Actually, I want to touch the thing. I'm gonna go
touch the thing.
This is a treasure trap for a curious person. As you approach this device, Circus Minor changes around you. People are dressed differently and speak differently. Whole new structures appear, including an enormous building rising from the edge of the square. You look down at the device. A series of images flit across the surface. They don't appear to be related to the changes around you. You see faces of other people and places, all of them familiar. Ooh. Look more closely at the changes around you. Circus Minor looks almost completely different. All the people are dressed strangely, and though they speak the truth, they use many terms and phrases that you don't understand. The square has changed as well. All of the tents are gone, the buildings are more colorful and less weathered. One building in particular rises from the edge of the square, a tower of purple rock, some 50 stories high. The mural is painted on the side, though you can't see the details from here. Let's examine the image. I mean, we're here. Examine the device. As soon as you focus on them, you feel a warmth on your head where your tattoo is. The images respond to your thoughts, slowing and changing at your whim. It's something about your body that allows you to do this, which perhaps means that only you can even see the images. You immediately recognize the pictures as pieces of memory, specifically the 3 memories you saw back in the fathoms of your mind. Ooh. Look at them. Look at memories. Look at memories.
So the underwater city. I think we killed some people with a cipher.
Yeah. And in the Lush Valley, we were
slapped by a robot. Remember that.
The city under siege is where we recently escaped from.
No. The city under siege is where we had a young friend that we needed to escort, and then we killed a giant, and the giant's mono blade wielding friend. We did a real good sword fight.
Let's look at that one first, just to be weird.
Okay.
Somehow you know this memory is ancient. It might have occurred 1,000 years ago. A man and a young girl raced through the streets of Segas Cliffs. All around them, the city is attacked by a terrible people. The Tabhat, you recall. The man takes them to an ancient machine somewhere in the city. Then he and the girl disappear. As you review the memory, you get a strange feeling in your mind that you can only describe as a query. The device wants something from you. Suddenly you remember the memories in the device are possibilities, but you can lock one of the memories here. So it is the only one that displays. You don't remember what purpose that served, though. Oh. Okay. Look at the memory in the Lush Valley.
I'll read this one because
Thanks. I'm
it's going
starting
on.
to get a little.
Yeah. Somehow you know the memory is from a long time ago, centuries ago probably. A man and a woman, both with tattoos like your own, are surveying a lush, secluded valley for some purpose you cannot recall.
Okay, shall we look at the last memory?
Yeah. The memory is recent. Two men, both with tattoos like your own, are in an underwater city searching for something. The denizens of the city chase them from their quarry and ultimately surround and capture them.
Okay, so these are things that I have been and done. And then I can lock any of these memories to this device. I want to lock the memory of the besieged city to this device.
What is your interest?
It just feels like the only time I wasn't being a dick.
Really? We killed people.
Well, at least in defense of someone.
Hold on, let's leave the device alone and check the others, the other two, because maybe
Okay.
we have to, like, lock one in each.
Yeah, you're right. I'm being hasty.
3 devices, 3 memories.
I mean, yeah.
A strange feeling comes over you as you approach this device, as if someone were sneaking up on you in the corner of your eye. When you look, there's no one there. It feels like something is different, though, but you can't put your finger on what. A series of images flit across the surface of the device itself. They don't appear related to the changes around you. You see faces of other people and places, all of them familiar.
Do you think this is a time puzzle? I'm supposed to place each of these memories in their proper time?
I don't know.
Look more closely at the changes around you.
Yes. The changes are difficult to notice at first, but after a moment you figure it out. Circus Minor is the same, but the crowd is different. Most of the people in the stalls and buildings are not the same as though you've seen around the square. Those few who do recognize you are younger by several years. Okay.
So, what was the most recent memory?
The underwater city,
Okay.
and then the Lush Valley, and then the... Yeah, it says, lock the recent memory, the centuries-old memory, and the ancient memory.
Okay. We're gonna put the recent memory here.
Yes. Images of the 2 men in the underwater city are now the only images that play on the surface of this device. They search for something, are chased, and are then captured, over and over again, in an endless loop. As soon as the image is locked in place, a ribbon of energy stretches into the air, connecting the control device to the clock.
All right. Let's see what this one is. Man, I hope that my curiosity is not like bringing about a fresh Armageddon or anything. Okay. As you approach this device, blah, 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 buildings are on fire, people are screaming and running for their lives while armored soldiers hunt them. None of them seem to pay attention to you, though. It's some kind of vision, not reality. You glance down at the device, a series of images flit across its surface, etc., etc.
Check the changes more closely, and let's see if we can determine if this is... we need to see if that purple tower is destroyed or not.
Yeah. Under the squash.
Read it.
Circus.
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah.
We are on episode 3.
Oh,
Actually, you know what? I know this one has already gone over. We'll come back tomorrow because we can't.
we know what the puzzle is, and we're not going to read through all of this. We're just going to get ready to do the last one and then come back. Does that sound good?
That sounds fair.
Because this is just a time puzzle.
Just a time puzzle. Baby time puzzle for time babies. It's also a puzzle for time adolescents and time young adults and time adults and time elders.
Rated for ages 6 hours plus.